Hi, I'm Meenakshi Shedde. I'm a Senior Program Advisor, South Asia to the Toronto International Film Festival, Tiff. I'm here in Tiff with the fantastic team of Saba from Bangladesh. This is Mostafa Monwar. This is Mehazabien Chowdhury. That's Maksud Hossain, the director. And we had a fantastic reception to the film at its world premiere last night. And I'd like to ask each of you what the reception meant to you, and is it your first time at TIFF, and what does it feel like?
It's my first time in TIFF, and we are very excited to see the audience reaction, and we loved how they reacted. And I really enjoyed the Q&A part, and I really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to the next shows.
Lovely.
So.
Yeah, I enjoyed the whole thing because this is what we've been waiting for the last 2.5 years or more.
It's been ready that long before?
Like from the shooting day and then the premiere, so it was a long journey. And then when yesterday people were able to connect, and it was not only Bangladeshi people there were people from all over the places, so them understanding our kind of culture, our kind of struggles, I think, and empathizing with it, that means a lot. And so when people were like, I don't know, I did hear people sobbing, so so I felt that maybe what we wanted to actually deliver, maybe they got that. So that was like, okay, a little success our way.
It's a big success. I should insist. It's really something, yeah.
So yeah, this is my first time at TIFF. What an honor. What a great film festival. I must thank Toronto International Film Festival for this great opportunity, and Robin Citizen, who's been a champion of this film, and also you, Meenakshi, for all your love and all your support. Yeah, the reception was overwhelming, you know. So just before, like in the morning, like when we were doing the press, Mehazabien was like, I haven't seen the final cut. I'm like, you'll see it. I think like we got it to somewhere special. It'll work for you. So like when we hit the final scene, and I'm hearing sobbing coming from left and right, and someone comes to me like, do you want to do a Q&A? Who's gonna be in the Q&A? I'm like, my cast is gonna be in the Q&A with me. So I look to my left, and Mehazabien is sobbing. I'm like, oh my God, so that's good. Like it works for her. And next to her is sitting, Thriller was sitting next to her, and she was sobbing as well.
Wife and co-producer of the film.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? It shouldn't work for us because we shot it and then we have seen it so many times. But the fact that, seeing it for the 50th time maybe, and it still works. So I think that means a lot
And
for
also
us.
I feel like the big screen made a huge difference.
It does.
And all the sound design, like, you hear the 7.1 mix is coming, attacking you from all sides. It was very exciting for me with the colors and everything. I have seen it the most out of anyone living or anyone, who's coming in the future as well. Like no one will see Saba more than me. And, like towards the end, I'm like, what's happening? Like I'm almost like breaking up. I'm like, I don't want to because Uri's singer told me, don't cry, Mac. Don't embarrass us. So I was trying very hard, but I'm so glad that it worked for the audience, because that was our intention, that we want to give our audience an emotional experience.
Sure.
And that was our objective, and I think we achieved that.
Totally. I just wanted to a little bit give you a background because they are very, very distinguished artists. Maksud Hossain has a whole body of work in short films. He's grew up in Abu Dhabi, in the US. He's lived and worked in the US. He went back to Dhaka and Bangladesh to make this debut feature. And one of his shorts won a Student Academy Award for Three Beauties. So he has a whole distinguished background before arriving at this point. Mehazabien Chowdhury is a huge star in Bangladesh for a lot of her television work. I think over 100 serials. That's a huge amount of work. She's won the Meryl Prothomalo Award twice for Best Actress, and this is her debut feature film. Not? Seven times? I apologize. Oh my goodness. Shame on me. Oh, that's huge. It's huge. It's really one of the top awards in Bangladesh, and it's very competitive because they have very productive, although Indians sitting right next door don't have too much of an idea, but it's a huge industry in its own. And Mostafa Monwar has a wonderful, very distinguished body of work. A whole range of it. A lot of it has been to festivals, including Live from Dhaka by Abdullah Mohammad Saad, Made in Bangladesh by Rubaiyat Hussain, Ladies and Gentlemen, the TV series on Me Too by Mustafa Sarwar Farooqi, No Ground Beneath the Feet by Mohammad Rabi Mridha, and a whole range of stuff. And what I'd like to ask you is where, to me, the film, so very briefly, the film is about a young woman, a working woman who is singly looking after her mother, who's aging and paraplegic, and about taking on the responsibilities on how this affects her personal life and her career. And for me, it's a very, very modern kind of storytelling. Of course, the story is not familiar per se, and I think it touched a lot of people also because all of us practically have been caregivers, especially since COVID. So I think it touched people deeply. But for me, it's very modernist storytelling, very feminist. You know, I can't describe it. It's just very modern. It's not that the story hasn't been done or shot, but it is visually, the way you tell it, it's very modern. You see Mehazabien, lovely as she is, in a very grungy kind, not grungy, but in a very workman-like space. She has little or no makeup at all. She's in a kind of tracksuit kind of work thing. She's got a backpack on her shoulders going to work, and she just doesn't have time for anything except looking after her mom and her work. So it's a very focused woman who has very important priorities in life other than what she looks like. And yeah, I wanted to ask you, all of you actually, where does this film stand for you from the viewpoint of a strong woman leading it in the Bangladeshi cinema space that all of you have been involved with?
Actually, I really like to work in a film where is the female with the female lead. Actually, previously I have done Made in Bangladesh.
Yes.
So in those films, I wanted to do a role that complements the different aspect of the protagonist actually, because there are different characters. Every characters actually complements the main character. Like here in this Saba, we know Saba that she has no dream. She only cares about her mother. She doesn't care about herself, about her dream. She doesn't even know what she wants. But when he met Onkur, she became aware of her own self actually.
Right.
So I like this kind of character that actually brings out the different aspect of the main character.
Sure.
So I love doing that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Also, because it was a kind of a mixed role for you, but I think what was really nice is how it was written. So it isn't a black or white character, but somebody who you really don't like, but you can definitely empathize and you see his viewpoint as well. And I think that was very beautifully written as well as acted.
Of course,
and I think that was so nice actually. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate what Monwar has said. Not all actors are that brave to work in a content where a female is the main protagonist. I think this is very, very brave of him and really very generous of him thinking that way, because that's not the mindset that we usually see. And when it comes to movie industries, I think it is still very male dominated, not only in Bangladesh, I would say in India or the neighboring countries. And when I get a script where a man is trying to actually see from a woman's point of view, it means a lot for me, because not everybody thinks that way, because there's so much involved in the film. There's money, there's like the mass audience that you need to please, and so many other aspects. But whenever I get scripts where the women lead, I just jump into it, and I feel like, this is my only or maybe the last work that I'm getting where I have to prove myself. And Saba, when I got the script, I thought maybe this is what I want to debut with, and I'm like very grateful. I don't usually say that to him, but thank you for being so brave, and all the producers that are involved for like spending or producing a work that like typically is not supposed to be a very big hit, but I'm sure Saba will touch hearts.
It will. Yeah.
Wow, I got a compliment from Mehazabien finally. After 5 years of working with her, I come to Toronto and I get a compliment from her. No, thank you so much. For me, like as I mentioned in the Q&A also, like I've been making short films for almost 25 years now, and most of my short films are, I don't know why I do this, but are female leads. I like working with female characters a lot, and I try to. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at you. I'm supposed to look at the camera. So I like working with female characters a lot. I like how complex female characters can be, and I like to understand them. You know, so my objective when I was writing Saba with my partner Trilora is to understand Saba. You know, understand her better. I don't know. I'm a man. I don't know a lot about women, but I'm curious. You know, and I want it to be as authentic as I can, as it can be. So in that regard, Thriller was very helpful, and also Mehazabien, when she started rehearsing with us, she was very helpful because she brought a lot of herself into it, which is very helpful. I think like it has to be a collaborative process for it to work, for it to feel authentic and honest and raw, which were all our objectives. So yeah, my next film is about a female lead as well, and
Wow.
So let's see.
Is it like the supposed trilogy kind of could be?
Yes, so I have written 2 scripts with the same
Wow,
character.
this is productive.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
creative.
Yeah, I don't sleep. That's what I keep telling. So like, I've already written 2 scripts with the same character, but like the stories are very different. It may or may not be the same person playing it if they're not nice to me.
This is the most delicate
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have a very good working relationship. But yeah, like it's a loose trilogy, very much like Lars von Trier's. I forget the name of the trilogy. Girl with the Golden Heart or something golden, where like it was Breaking the Waves, Dogville, and some other movie which formed a trilogy. Yeah, so we're working on it.
I wanted to ask you if you feel, if you, I mean, it's hard to be objective about yourself, but I wanted to ask if you felt a little more fearless and looking at things more objectively because you were kind of outsider, insider. You have a kind of a foot in both two worlds. And living outside for so long also allows you this a space from which to see something objectively and say, look at it for what it is. And to me, that was very fearless. Now I'm trying to understand where that comes from. Did you feel that outsider insider thing, or did you feel you needed to research it having been away for so long? Did you need to study it, or did it came more spontaneously because it came from through Laura's story as well?
That's a great question. I'll tell you why. Because I always feel like an outsider, no matter where I go. So when I was growing up in Abu Dhabi, I didn't feel like I was from there, even though I lived there for 18, 19 years.
My God, wow.
Because like, you know, that's like I was born there, I grew up there, I went to high school there, I finished my
What
high
were
school.
your parents doing there?
My dad was an aeronautical engineer.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
yeah, so we were stationed there.
Wow.
He was at that time. He was working for Gamco, which is like a corporation who takes care of like all the airlines that land in Abu Dhabi. And then he was in Etihad for the last 10 years of his
So
life.
that also meant you probably traveled a lot.
Oh, a lot, a lot. So we used to travel a lot because we used to travel a lot. Europe, Asia, Africa. I used to make short films, documentaries wherever I go. After high school, I took a year off just to make films all around the world. Gap year.
Very cool.
So I just traveled and made films for a year. I traveled to Africa, South America, Europe, all over the place.
My God, but there's a very, very global sensibility from a very young age.
Right. So like then I moved to the States. I went to Indiana, of all those places. Like it was very conservative, very white. But some of my friends were here last night who I met in Indiana, who you would think I would never be friends with, but they're my best buddies.
How lovely
You
is
know,
that?
like kids from Colorado, white kids, someone from Colombia, both of them were here, George and Juan. Yeah, yeah.
Lovely.
And they were here because they wanted to support me, you know.
So nice.
So I didn't feel at home there. Then I moved to Los Angeles. I didn't feel at home in Los Angeles at all. Then I moved to Bangladesh, where I would feel that, like, I would feel my roots and everything. I still don't feel like, you know, I'm part of the crowd. Like, you know, I wear a hat. I'm an outsider. like from the beginning. In the external, I wear a hat, I wear a bandana. Maybe something it has to do with me saying.
The feather though.
Yeah, right. I told you the feather story, right? So so like I always feel like an outsider, but yeah, that does help with storytelling because you observe a lot, you've seen a lot of cultures, you've seen a lot of different kinds of people, and also like because I know Bangladeshi culture firsthand because I'm a Bangladeshi, and also like my parents are from Bangladesh. But at the same time, I was away and lived in so many places that I feel that I see it from an outsider's perspective as well.
I think what is lovely also, and this infuriates me, especially about Indian cinema as well, you see really good films along with bad stuff, but it's not so often that you see lives of women around us. You don't see their lives on film. They're good fiction and everything, but that reality that we see around us is not so often in our films. I don't know whether they think it doesn't sell or what, and that's not often the case. But for me here, this is really very much part of the appeal. It was very lived in, very real. The places, the locations, the production design, all of this, there was such it was very lived in for me. And although it was a place I don't know that well, I've been a few times, but there was a lot of work gone into that, a lot of thought, I think, and that reality made it very connectable, other than of course how well they were. So was that an important part of the construction of the film, the narrative, that you wanted it like that?
So yeah, like first I felt my highest priority was to get the script to somewhere that I liked. Like I felt very comfortable with the script. Okay, I have something special. So that was my highest priority. Then after I had the script at a place where I was comfortable with, my highest priority was the casting. If the casting doesn't work, nothing works, So the acting has to be there. Like, they have to be artists, They have to bring something. They have to make these people, like, as you said, lived, like, they have to be real. They have to be three-dimensional. I could get rid of pages with both of them just because of the one look that they gave to the camera, right? Because it was all in their eyes. I don't need that page. I don't need that explanation.
What a compliment. That is wonderful.
No, they're fantastic actors. And I also love this pairing of Monwar and Mehazabien because Mehazabien has done a lot of popular television stuff. She's like a huge celebrity in Bangladesh. Everyone knows. And she's a gifted actress as well, which is like a big plus for us. But Monwar has been like a poster child of independent Bangladeshi cinema. Yeah. Art house cinema that has been traveling for the last 10 years. And and he's a fine actor too. Like, he can do so much. I kept, like, Monwar, like, I had to pursue him because he's so busy doing other stuff. I had to pursue him, and I'm like, Monwar was like, there's so much pressure. You're expecting so much from me.
Yeah,
when we were.
He really wanted me to.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why.
No, yeah, he kept telling me. There's so much. Yeah, he kept saying, why me? You don't need me. And I was like, Manwar, I love your face, man. You can do so much.
Huge pressure.
I'm like, you don't have to do anything. You just be you. I'm there. I kept telling all my actors that I will make sure you look your best. Yeah. You feel free to try everything. Give me everything. I will make sure that you look your best. That's my job. Yeah. Leave it to me. So after the first 2 days, I think the actors said, that's your job. Just let us do. And they were like so, giving. Like I was doing take after take. That's how I shoot. Like I do the entire scene.
You exhaust them?
I exhaust them. Like every scene we did at least 21 takes.
Oh
at
my
least.
God.
At least. And some of the scenes.
That would make us sound like bad actors.
No.
I'm just kidding. Of course it is. I think especially if I have to talk about the pre-climax scene, I don't know. How many takes did we take?
For that scene, we did 12.
Yeah, so that's like
Which scene are you referring to?
the scene where the mother, like where I don't want to give. At home. So I don't want to give spoilers, but. Yeah, so that was very emotional, and every time you need to hit the right spot, and it was actually like I think that was the one day I was really looking forward to, and I was scared of it as well because initially we planned to take it in a single shot, But then again, we changed our idea because you need to take the mom's reaction, you need to take my reaction. Yeah, and like it was so complex because when the camera is on me, the tear should drop, and when it's on her, it should drop from her eyes. Everything was very difficult, but I think Polash Bhaiya, our DP, was fantastic to work with. I was looking forward to working with him for a very long time, and I'm so glad it happened in my debut movie. And we had this magical connection with him when we were doing that specific scene. And at one moment, where I was telling him, like, I wasn't telling him with words, but I was like, stay there, and then I used to like snap my fingers, and then he would come on me, he would pan on me. So this wasn't, but this wasn't discussed, and but instantly he understood what I'm trying to like say. So I think it's, at the end of the day, it's all about teamwork and how things work out.
One thing I would like to add about that scene, like that scene that Mehazabien is talking about, we rehearsed for 6 months, but we didn't rehearse that scene.
On when you actually did.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
It's too loaded.
Yeah, it's too loaded. So like I remember, like we talked about it forever, and I saved a specific story for Mehazabien just before she went into that shot. And that got her there, but she was already there, but like that got her like really into the zone. And I told her, you gotta dig deep. Whatever your personal letting go is, you have to go there. Otherwise this is not gonna work. And she went there. Oh boy, did she. That was fearless, because the camera, you can see everything on the camera. So we didn't rehearse that scene, and both Rokeya Prachiappa and Mehazabien were like, and the Shireen, they were like, so we're gonna do it in one take. I'm like, let's just start doing it. Do it till here. Let's see what happens. Because I didn't want to tell them. I didn't want to put any pressure on them. So they started doing it, and I see that like everyone on the set is like, are like tears are coming out of them, and they are going, right? So I didn't say cut, and they kept going. And Polash was thinking that I'm gonna stop. They were thinking we're gonna stop. I didn't stop. And it went on, and she was hysterical after the take. And I just went up to her. She was in the hallway. I just went up to her and I whispered to her, can you keep going? Because you have that energy now. And she couldn't talk. She was just shaking. And she was like, keep going. So we reset. And my first AD was like, oh, there's this. I don't care. I don't care about continuity. I care about emotional continuity. That's all I care about.
Fantastic.
And we did like on the go, we did like 8 takes, and we took a break, I think.
My gosh.
She was gone. She just poured everything out.
Yeah. You could see that. But I wanted to ask also, when scripting it, of course I know that it's his wife, Trilora Khan's partly autobiographical story of her looking after her mother and so on. But when you're finally shooting, or in your rehearsals, did you also bring in elements from their life, or connect with them, or adapt it, or tweak it? Can you share a little about whether some of your story a little bit went in some way, so that there's an organic connect?
You know what? I don't know if I should call it magical, but there were some supernatural things going on when we were shooting, because like when we were like midway, I heard that his mother-in-law, like auntie, so she was actually not feeling well. And that actually got into us, and we were feeling the characters even more. And we could deep down like think about it, and like, okay, so we are shooting like her life, and she's actually not feeling well. This is some kind of a magical thing that's going on. And I don't know, I think people will not believe this, but when we did the last scene, that was maybe 12th Feb last year. So right, am I right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was 12th Feb, I guess, and we like finished off at 4 in the morning, because we're doing the night scene on the bridge part, where me and Monwar, we are on the bridge and the police come. So we were doing that, and then we went home. So we were very happy, like, okay, finally this journey, it's going somewhere, and we've finished this. Now the post is gonna start. So we were very excited. And in the morning, I wake up at 10 and I see his text that my mother in law has passed away. So, I just couldn't believe that, it felt like she was actually holding on to something and it was her letting go. It was actually her, and she wanted to see where we take this. And the moment we finished, when we wrapped up, and she was just she left us within 5 hours. So I don't know.
But really energy, I think.
Yeah, some kind of energy that was working with this movie and her and the whole journey. I did not expect this to happen, but that was the day when I felt, this is gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. And I don't know. I don't have words to explain the feeling.
Mostafa, I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you've seen this film Gully Boy from.
Yeah,
you have. So I think one of the things that I'm always interested in strong women characters, because we don't have so many of them, and we have even fewer women directors. In Gully Boy, which is of course directed by Zoya Akhtar, she has this line where Ranveer Singh wants to be a rapper, and Alia Bhatt is studying to be a medical surgeon, and she says, "You go and do your stuff because I'm going to earn the money," right? So in Bollywood, that's a killer line to beat all killer lines. And I thought it took incredible courage. For the first thing that struck me about that scene, how courageous of a huge actor to do that, where not only is he accepting, like a relationship is both ways, supporting, but to take financial support from the woman partner and put it out there on a film, that is a whole other thing. And I have so much respect for him. And some of that, I mean, it's not the same situation, but there was some kind of a give and take that you had in your relationship with her character in the film, which had some of that, right? And I thought, as she also said, I think it's really courageous, because it's only when you have a very fine actor, it takes an absolute self-assurance for an actor to take a role like this. First of all, it comes from a space of absolute confidence in your own work, that this is not going to, oh my God, not feel threatened by it in any way, but feel that it's adding to your work. So what were your many feelings when Maksud Bhai gave you the script? What were your feelings till the point he was pushing you, and what made you finally, what was that final moment that made you say yes?
Okay. After reading the script for the first time, I really became very sad, and the first reaction was that the first reaction is that I don't want to do this film, because it's very sad, very depressing. But it really affected me, and I was silent for 2 hours. Then I realized that the script is really powerful, that because I am exposed to too many stories, and I read a lot.
People must be hounding you
read a lot,
and
then I felt the power of this story. Actually, I really feel the power of the story, because this script affected me so much. So it must have that power. So then I realized that I wanted to be part of it, and then I also like my character very much, and I asked a lot of questions.
How lovely is that? Tell us, because this is very special for a male actor to feel comfortable and want to do something. Tell us why your character appealed to you.
Okay, before choosing a script, I considered quite a few things. First of all, the story, if it really resonates with me, and is it kind of fresh? It's very difficult to find fresh stories, but it's relatively fresh, and that connects with me and the character. And first, what I do is I derive the character from the script, and I just evaluate. Doesn't matter if I'm not there, but if I'm not there, so
nice negative space.
Negative space.
All right.
But I think it's very crucial, because if I'm not there, the Saba would not be complete, because because she was very much centered around his mother, that she would not feel there is life out other than so. At last we see that she has actually let go from So it would not have possible without actually Omkur.
That's true.
So beautiful. That made me choose the story.
So lovely, so lovely. You know, the other thing I thought, in a very interesting way, the way you've written it and the way it's performed, is that this single daughter thing, or rather this whole caregiver in the family, it places a near impossible burden on you, the way you perceive your responsibility. But also in other ways, I feel being on your own and having to do everything also in some way really liberates you and allows you to take decisions and empowers you in a way. So there's a lot of contradictory things, feeling very weighed down, but also being free to do things without thinking too much about or how you raise money or whatever, whereas somebody else might think too often, right? So tell us how you work through those contradictions, because I guess you think about your character before you get in your rehearsals, and how did you work out these things?
To be very honest, I don't know how it worked out.
Are you more spontaneous actor?
Well, yeah, like there are actors who are like they're always into the character. Someone like Mostafa, Monwar, you know, on the sets, I can't even talk to him because he's always with the script. Yeah, he's very very quiet. He's anyway that kind of a person. He's very like quiet and shy and is not very loud. But me, on the other hand, you know, I'm the kind of person who wants to show things when the camera is on. But apart from that, you know, I don't feel like I don't want to take the burden. I don't want to take this home. But I want to be Mehazabien when I'm off camera, and when the camera is on, I always pray some magic happens, and if it does, then it's good. Yeah, but
I think every actor got some process to but some of them are not aware of it. Since I am from the theater, and so I am aware of it, but everyone has got their own process. She is not aware of it, so I definitely she's preparing for her own ways. Yeah,
in her own way, right?
Her own way.
Yeah.
So she did. She can answer how she did it.
Yeah.
But I think she has definitely a very good.
I feel because there were really emotional depths in that. That's what I was asking you about, right? It wasn't just reading a script and switching on, right? It was
positive for every actor.
Right. I agree. Like the process is very different for every actor, and like as a director, you have to be aware of that as well, because like someone reacts to something, the other actor doesn't like that process. For Mehazabien, I feel that you know, she's very well prepared. She's very disciplined, right? So like she'll get the script read. She'll read the script right away. She'll know the script you know, by heart, and then she doesn't worry about it. Like, you know, she is doing her thing, and yeah, like there's like a switch when action happens. It's like almost like magic. Like people are like, what? Like wasn't she just doing this thing which is not related to the film? So that's her process. Whereas Monwar is like very, you know, very much, you know, like he's like thinking about it. You know, he has to like work himself up about it, which is fine. You know, it works. You know, as long as it works in front of the camera, you know, whatever rocks your boat.
I think that's where the saying comes from: opposite attracts, and maybe that's what happened in Saba.
so lovely. This has been such a privilege to have a film like this, because it's, again, I repeat, because it's really very modern in its storytelling, in its images, and what you're conveying. What are your expectations for the film after Tiff? And for your trilogy?
So for now, I want to enjoy Tiff,
Yes.
because you know this is like a dream come true. So today we have the second screening at night. I want to do the Q&A with you, and then after Tiff, we have a couple of other festivals lined up. We're going to Busan International Film Festival for the Asian premiere, and then we have a couple of others lined up. So we're going to do the festival round.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into distribution,
What is your
sales.
expectation? How would a film like this be received in Bangladesh? What do you imagine?
You know what? Like I feel that this will do really well. This is my gut feeling. I feel that we have made the film that we set out to make, which is a very difficult task, right? In many ways, it has surpassed our expectations when we started the journey. We all wanted to make a excellent film. That was our common goal, that traveled internationally and also did well in Bangladesh, that like emotionally they had an emotional experience in Bangladesh. I think we achieved that. Now it's about marketing the product right, marketing the film in Bangladesh and internationally, so that it reaches to the widest audience possible, because people have to know about the film.
Sure.
Right, they have to give it a chance. Right, if they give it a chance, I think there is like a very stereotypical idea that only certain kinds of films do well, but I feel that emotional catharsis is what people are looking for when they go to a movie or a story, and we will provide that.
And I think also it might be well timed, I don't know, but because of this whole turmoil and the revolution and everybody in a different mind space right now. If you're off a festival circuit for a while and then things are a little calmer when you're actually going to release at home, it's probably also in favor of the film.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Of course, yeah.
So, wishing your film all the very best. We're so proud to have your film here. So proud to have you here. Thank you very much for giving me your time. Thank you. Yeah.